name is Alexis Nagy. I'm a junior at the University of Alabama, and I went on the summer in Westminster in summer of 2023 with CIS abroad.
Why did you choose CIS abroad?
Mostly for the Jack the Ripper course that was offered at Westminster. As a criminal justice student, I really struggled finding a program that offered interesting criminal justice classes that also gave me credit at my home university. And seeing that not only gave me the credit, but it was like a very interesting course that I wanted to take. It was one of the main reasons that I chose CIS abroad.
What factors influence your decision to select this program?
Definitely the credits played a decision, and the duration. I didn't want anything that was under 4 weeks. So that's why I chose the 6-week option, because it wasn't my whole summer, but it was a good portion of it. And that was ultimately why I chose that specific one, both first and second session.
Can you give some tips on surviving the first 2 weeks on site?
So I would say that bringing a little piece of yourself from home and reaching out to people as soon as you arrived. I brought my Uno cards to the UK as like an icebreaker to play with others on the program, and others that were in different study abroad trips, because I knew that they were also living in the dormitories. And not only was I able to make friends very easily due to like the awkward tensions like being gone, but I also crushed them in my favorite game. So
What was your favorite class and why?
Jack the Ripper, 100%. Not only was it interesting content, but it was a different way of teaching. We not only learned in the classroom, but we also got to walk out and experience the landscape of London, of the cultural impact that it had on the city. You could still see places that idealized Jack the Ripper, or like the street in which like we were walking, and she said like right there was where like a certain victim died. And it's just crazy that was being able to be seen in person right there, but in a place where people just live their everyday lives. It was just a very interesting way of teaching the course, interesting way of learning the subject. Loved it.
How were your classes compared to classes in the US?
Well, I would say that it was 100% completely different. Obviously, you go to class, you take notes, you may go on a field trip in the US, but I felt like they required a lot more upper level work, I would say, for like essays and presentations. But you did have plenty of time to complete them. The only thing that was hard for me is the way in which that they cite their sources and classify academic sources. It's very different from the US. You can only use academic sources that are like a book or a textbook, no journal articles, no quotes from a teacher, like nothing like that. And so when I was doing my essays and my presentations, I found it a bit difficult to find sources that were, in their eyes, academic sources. And that was a bit of a challenge, and a lot different from the United States way of teaching.
Can you tell us more about your housing and commute to school?
So I lived on campus, so I simply walked downstairs. The dormitory was attached to the college. I stayed in the Marylebone Hall at the University of Westminster. But sometimes when we had field trips, we would have to meet in class and then go out into the city. And then when the class was over, you had to commute your way back to Marylebone, back to campus without the teacher. They would most likely just disappear into the night. And so you had to navigate the tube either alone or with other Marylebone students who live there.
What was your favorite part of your program?
Honestly, everything. Like I can't narrow it down to one thing. I not only thought that the dormitories were the perfect size for one person, but the location was great. The classes were super interesting, and I didn't feel like they demanded a whole lot out of me. The people were so nice. The events that went on, and the staff with CIS abroad, like everything was just so great and awesome. I can't narrow it down.
How did your on-site director impact your time abroad?
Mine was Aaron. There was Aaron and Anna. Anna was more of like the behind the scenes. Aaron was like kind of who you talk to. And Aaron was absolutely great. Like I said, I got sick while I was there. I got sick twice. One was just like fever, cough. I got a little bit of a cold. But I didn't realize that in different countries, they don't have like Advil or Tylenol. It's not like a universal name. So I went into the store and I asked them for Advil or Tylenol, and they looked at me like I was insane. So she helped me find what medicine I needed so that I didn't have to like go out and into the cold and have to fight for my life while I was sick. And then I also found out that I was allergic to the laundry detergent that they were washing our sheets and our comforters with. And I broke out in hives. And she also was like, if you need to go to the emergency room, like I will go with you. Please keep me updated. Here is some like anti-hives medication that you can get at the store. Here's this, here's that. And then checked up on me like 2 weeks afterwards. That was like the first week that I arrived. Checked up on me like 2 weeks afterwards and was like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And was so genuinely kind. Like outside from that, like that her being her job, she was so genuinely kind that it made everything so much better. Like when I reflect on my time there, I forget about it sometimes that I was sick twice. But she seriously was a blessing.
Can you share tips on transitioning from being on site to coming back home?
Honestly, I'm still working on that a little bit. I was able to meet two girls in London that actually go to my home university here at Alabama and hang out with them all the time. And Lily was texting one earlier today saying that I had this like Q&A session and was saying that it's going to bring me back so much nostalgia. But what I will say though is the more souvenirs, the better. And I'm not just justifying that because I did spend so much money on souvenirs, but just reflecting on the good times and saying like, well, if I really wanted to, like I could move there or that could like be my life. It's not just like a one and done scenario. Um, Possibilities in life are endless. So just thinking about being positive and being grateful for your time and having those little trinkets to remind you. I don't know if you can see, but this is my Westminster ID. This is like Baker Street's where I stay. This is Borough Market. I went to Paris and I got a picture of Nike. Like I have so many. There's more back here, over there. And it just reminds me of just how much of a great time I had.
What surprised you about your time abroad?
Traveled before being going to study abroad, but I'd never been there for a long period of time, and especially not without family. And I was shocked how easy it was for me to be away from America and everyone I knew for 6 weeks. Not only that, but I made a whole routine over there. I would wake up, grab a Pret croissant, go to lunch with friends, go back to class. Like I built a life, and I'm just like kind of surprised that it was so easy for me because I still can't figure out a routine here in America. And it fully makes me think that I should move there after college. I can't express how much of a great time I had and how much I fell in love with London. It's that's like the overall surprise is I thought London was basically like America, and it was something entirely different and beautiful and awesome and something I wish I could still be experiencing.